All right, today let's talk about recovery gear. What do you have? What do you need? What don't you need? Do you need everything that I have? Probably not. Let's dig into it. So your very first piece of recovery gear is going to be your vehicle. Mine's a 2015 F-150 Lariat. It's got a 6-inch Pro Comp lift and a lot of different stuff done to it. The second thing you're going to need is good tires. These are 35-12-50s Nitto Ridge Grapplers. They are, for me, the best off-road or all-terrain tire that I have had. I have had a bunch of different ones, and this for me has worked out the best. Like I said, I have a 6-inch lift, so I have pretty decent ground clearance with everything. And your vehicle is going to be your main recovery tool. Whether what you can go through, what you can go over and around is going to determine a lot of what you're doing. So one of the next big investments after the vehicle, lift kit, and tires is bumper and winch. Here in Colorado, we have some pretty big-ass animals that can jump out and hit us. So I got a big-ass bumper because, I don't like getting my vehicle smashed up by animals. Here I have a Smitty-built 12,000-pound synthetic winch with a factor 55 on the front. I have not had any issues with it whatsoever. I've probably used it shy of a dozen times, but I haven't had any issues. The good thing about this truck, it does have locking differentials in the rear. So that helps quite a bit. In the back, I have, as you can see, the deck system here, and then I have the Lear locker up top. And then I'll get into all this stuff. All right, so let's start out with some basic stuff that's in the deck system here, all right? In the back, I have stuff that I'm probably not going to use that often, i.e. whoobies or poncho liners for you non-military folks. Coats, power cord, yak tracks, things like that. In here, I got a set of gaiters and a set of yak tracks. In the back, if you can see it way back there, I have a pair of rubber boots that stay in this truck because, let's face it, sometimes you go out four-wheeling and you're wearing sandals, and if you have to walk anywhere, you do not want to do that. You can see a couple pieces of 2x4 in here. That is to go underneath this for the high lift jack. That's just a high lift jack base. Obviously, the bigger the base you have, the less it's going to sink. So if you're in mud or sand or something like that, the base on the high lift jacks are very tiny. So the base, the big plastic base is something you kind of have to buy. The deck system has these little drawers right here. What I keep in this one is just kind of pocket flares. Something very easy that if you do get stranded, if you do need help, you can use those to either signal for rescue or start a fire if need be. I have a CB antenna down here. So whenever I do go out, I can just pull that out and put it up front. In here, I got a big bag. I got a whole bunch of batteries, a whole bunch of tools, ponchos, a whole set of tool rolls. In here, I have a spare air right here, a little air compressor. I have 2 fire extinguishers down here. There's one underneath the fire blanket. And then I have 2 fire blankets, ponchos, gloves, kind of anything that you're going to need to work on things. Batteries for basically whatever you want or need. Crowbars, a lot of stuff to clean your hands with, because if you do happen to kind of get dirty underneath the truck, you want to clean your hands off. Let's come over here. So I have some wedges if we need to break out a chainsaw or an axe. Just a tire kit. In here I have a go bag, get home bag, whatever you want to call it, and we'll break that out here in just a minute. Some extra line, a little shelter kit, some slime, extra strap, extra fuel for the chainsaw, pry bar, a Husqvarna axe. This is actually a pretty decent axe that I have in here so it doesn't stay out in the elements. I have another axe right in here. a Fiskars one. Over here I got some binos in case you need to, look for where you're going if you're out in the middle of nowhere. This is just a dampener for rope for a winch. Have some soft shackles, tree saver, 12-ton bottle jack, just a tow. Let's see if I can see that. The sun is killing me right here. A tow ball, some extra shackles and stuff. Over here, let's see if we can get out of the sun here. So here we got Gorilla Tape. We got these marking crayons. You can mark on trees or rocks or wherever. Indicate which direction you're walking if you have to walk out. Same with the Sharpie Extremes. TP, I think we all know what that's for. Then I have an extra poncho, shower, and extra rags. Over here I have an extra synthetic line for my winch. Not only if, let's say the winch cable does break, it rubs on a rock or something, I have a spare, but plus if I need to extend out, if I need to go another 80 feet, I have this here to do that with. An emergency radio, this is the crank one. So, if you're out there on foot, something else to either wipe the sweat off, siphon kind of, get water with, or just wipe your hands off. Okay, so here, some of the stuff I don't carry with me all year round. It kind of depends. Like I have these snowshoes. I don't carry them with me all year round, but if I do go to the mountains, I throw them in there because they're super light. They don't take up hardly any room, and if you need them, you're gonna need them. A big trash bag I can throw in the back of my truck. I have a smaller chainsaw because I don't need a bigger chainsaw. If something's in the way, that's gonna do the trick. Chainsaw accessories. Right over here I got some snatch blocks. I have the regular snatch block, then over here I have a Factor 55 synthetic snatch block, and I have a bunch of synthetic and metal shackles, a really good pair of jumper cables, a land anchor. That's something that people are kind of torn on. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't have an issue with it. I've never had to use it. I've always been able to kind of winch to a tree or something along, a rock or something like that. But I know people who have used it, and when they needed it, they really needed it. Let's see, over here, water for drink or for the truck. 2 different size shovels. If you have more than one person with you, which you should always have more than one person with you. That way you can both do some work. This is an onboard air here. It's a power tank, I think they call it. It's just a Smitty-built power tank. The power tank itself is a little expensive, but it costs like, I think, 15 or 20 bucks to fill it. And that thing is awesome. It can even run air tools. This is just a kinetic bungee or a kinetic rope. Basically, it's like a big giant rubber band. And if you have to pull somebody out, it uses the kinetic energy to pull them out easier. Another strap that I have just available. An axe. Something to get the snow off my truck. Some nice cheapy rubber max tracks. I usually use them under the pieces of wood, under the high lift thing. So just again, a bigger base. One little chain, because even though you got all this cool guy stuff, you don't need chains anymore, but I cannot go out without one because the old school country boy in me. These are off-brand, let's say Max Tracks. I have 6 of them. The reason why is because sometimes you need to double them up if you need to kind of go over a ditch, or maybe they break, but they were cheap enough that I can afford a few more, and it's kind of a peace of mind. So instead of buying 2 Max Tracks for $400, I can buy 6 of these for just $200. And I've used them a few times. As you can tell, they're kind of tore up. They have worked great. I haven't broken any of them yet, and hope to keep it that way. So that about does it. The only other things I have in there, like I have, as you can see, some antifreeze and some windshield wiper stuff. It's more being able to get yourself out of a situation. All this stuff here helps. It does. It helps tremendously. But the big thing that you want is to be able to think outside the box. All right, now that we're inside, out of the sun, I don't know how many times I have been stuck in my life, but it's been a lot. Some of them I was able to get out myself. Some of them I had to call for help. The one thing that I've always found in every situation is you have to be able to think on your feet, think outside the box, and kind of be able to come up with stuff that maybe somebody else wouldn't have thought of. I watch a lot of like off-roading shows, and there was one, this guy's wheel fell off, and he used like a piece of a tree and a strap to strap the axle up and use the tree as like a ski. And he was able to drive it on the road in order to get help. Something like that is something that, you know, they don't really teach you in any off-road schools, but it's that type of thinking that you need. Other things that I take with me are like, let's see, like this guy, right? I take 1 or 2 batteries. This is an impact wrench. I have an inverter on my truck. It came with the truck, so I can plug it in, I can charge the batteries. That thing helps awesome when I'm trying to like change a tire. I do have a full-size spare underneath my truck that I did not show you, but a lot of things that I don't have, like I don't have a come along. You can use the high lift as a come along, so I don't think you really need a come along. I've used come alongs in the past. I did not like them. I used it, God, I was stuck on a hill in some ice, and I was trying to just basically pull the back of my truck over to the fence, and the come along couldn't do it, and my truck was on ice and it was sliding everywhere, but the come along just wasn't powerful enough to do it, and I had like a really good come along, so I kind of just ditched that idea. One thing that I would like to have, but I don't, is I would like to have a winch that goes backwards, because sometimes you get stuck and there's nothing to pull you out frontwards, and you need to backtrack. You can run the winch underneath the vehicle. It's just a real big pain in the ass, and if you're deep in mud, you won't be able to. So a winch out the back would be awesome. I have not needed it as of yet, but I mean, you never know. I'll break into like my go bags and things like that here on the next video, and we'll get into that. If you have any questions, hit me up below. I know a lot of dudes in the off-road community. A lot of dudes that are a hell of a lot smarter than me with everything, and they can they know where to go. If I don't have the answers, I can ask them. So when I was editing the video, I noticed that some of the stuff I was saying got cut off or didn't get recorded or something. So throw this quick little insert in here. Not only all of them tools help your recovery, but the best thing you could ever have is knowledge on how to drive. The few off-roading classes that I've been to, the drivers always amaze me. They could take something like a Honda Civic and go through more stuff than I can with my truck, because they just have more knowledge than I do. They know how to drive better than I do. The knowledge of driving is something that has been lost over, the last couple of decades. People just don't get out there and go mudding or anything like that anymore like they used to. Another thing is my tools in my truck, almost all the tools are from like Harbor Freight. And there's a lot of people that say, I would never trust my life to Harbor Freight tools. Listen, I've never had a Harbor Freight tool break on me. I'm pretty sure they have with somebody, but they haven't broke on me. Another thing is, if I need to give my tools to somebody so they can get home and they can self-rescue, I would much rather give them, a $2 tool than a $40 Snap-on tool. To me, I can just go buy a whole new set for 20 bucks and it'll be fine. So just a couple things to remember when you're out there, when you're preparing to go out there. Get spun up on driving skills. There's a lot of cool videos out there, and there's even a lot of classes out there that you can go to. And if you're gonna have recovery tools, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to go buy brand new tools from Snap-on or from Harbor Freight, but just know that if, you lend somebody a pair of pliers, don't expect it back, all right? So again, at the end of the day, just ask yourself, are you an asset or are you a liability?